How are you, boys and girls? Welcome to the Going Down Under podcast. I'm your host, Braam Hein, creating koala on all social media platforms, and here we'll be deep diving on all things health and wellness related. Why am I out of breath from that? God, that's bad. But episode 32, going down 8 months in on this pod. Kind of crazy to think about. Very happy with where it's at. Very happy with where I'm at. Hopefully this continues, and hopefully you continue watching. By hopefully, I mean I'm going to continue, so hopefully you continue to watch. But today's episode is about something that I experienced for a little bit, and then I kind of broke out of it because of the things that I will talk about today. But that is strength plateaus, and basically how to break out of them. Because I know strength plateaus happen a lot, and people don't really talk about how to get over them sometimes. And there's a lot of discourse about how to, and blah, 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 blah. But the main reason I want to talk about this is for anybody who's in that stage of where they either started their strength training or they've been strength training for a while and their numbers are going up, but now the numbers haven't moved in a little while. It's feeling stagnant. Everything's feeling a little heavier, and then nothing's moving like it used to, or it's just moving the exact same and it hasn't changed for a while. And that's okay, first of all, because we're going to get through it by doing the things that I'm about to tell you. But strength plateaus happen when there isn't enough stimulus for the body to respond to, right? So I'm going to tell you some common things that happen, like some common reasons as to why strength plateaus happen, and then how to break out of them with a few different strategies, okay? Today's episode shouldn't be too long. It shouldn't be too drastic, but we're going to get through it. It's going to be easy. It's going to be lightweight money sign. Bow type thing, you know what I'm saying? I'm also so tired, just so you know. Like, I don't know if you can see, I'm like, from like the first few episodes to now, I'm so much more tan, because I feel like, especially the past like month or so, I've gotten so much sun. I was at a friend's cottage for a little bit. That was really fun. We get to talk a lot with a bunch of my friends about a bunch of cool things, and then it was a great time. It was very, very much needed. Little detox, had a bit too much good food and maybe some alcohol. Hello, you know what I'm saying? But now we're back at it, back on the grind. Yeah, I think I've decided that I want to get shredded. Completely different side note, but anyway, back to the topic of the episode, because we're gonna have a little ADHD sidetrack moment just then. Some reasons as to why strength plateaus happen. There's 4 main reasons that I think they happen. That are proven that they happen, and the 4 main reasons that I think that most people will experience them. First one being lack of progressive overload. Second one being too much volume or too high of an intensity for too long. 3, and I think the biggest one is form and technique differences. And 4, inconsistent habits. So I'm gonna go through them, and then afterwards I'll take you through some strategies to get over them, right? The first one being a lack of progressive overload. So in order for strength gains to happen, your muscles need to have enough of a stimulus to need to adapt. So that happens through progressive overload. I talked about it previously in multiple episodes. Progressive overload summary being progressively overloading with either sets, reps, intensity, tempo, or load within a given exercise or within a given session. And if you don't provide it with that stimulus, it will not need or want to adapt and get stronger. So if you continue to do 3 sets of 10 for the rest of your life, and you stick at the same weight, your body won't want or need to adapt to that stimulus. Will you get stronger through that? Yes, but only to a certain extent. You might progress slowly, but if you don't change up that stimulus, it won't respond. Plain and simple. Plain as day, that's it. It won't respond if you don't give it a reason to get bigger or get stronger. Number 2, too much volume or too high of an intensity too often. If you are overreaching, then that is good, because overreaching for a certain period of time will then create adaptations. Because if you overreach, you start to get a little bit stronger, then you overreach, and you start to dip, right? But then if you slightly dip, it's going to be a bounce back effect if you rest and you give your body time to get that adaptation. If you don't give your body enough time to adapt, your stimulus is going to keep going down, and then it's not going to go far down, but it's just going to go kind of plateau right here. It's just going to stay. It's going to stay. That's where higher injury likelihood is going to occur, and you're going to feel like shit, and your body's going to kind of get really stressed out, and then you're going to go to poop, basically. That's that. So overreaching is good, but you can't do it for too long or too often. So if you have too high intensity sessions too often, that's going to happen quicker because your body needs more time to adapt from higher intensity sessions. That's why low intensity steady state cardio is good, because you're able to adapt and recover really quickly. That's also why workouts that have lower sets and reps but higher intensities are good, because you're having lower volume but higher intensities. You're able to recover in a little middle ground. Whereas if you do 3 sessions a week with high volume and high intensity, that's why you can only do 3 sessions in that week, because you need the other 4 days in the week to recover fully. Okay, third one, and I think one of the more important ones, is form and technique differences. If you are just going in and doing a bench press, right, and you don't have the proper technique and it changes every week, and you are trying to put too much load on, you're just pumping it and you're not actually controlling it or doing it with proper technique, bring it down to your nipples and then bring it up towards your nose, you won't be able to get any strength benefits from that. You will obviously get strength benefits because you're moving external load onto your muscles, so they need to adapt to that. But you won't be able to get over any plateaus that you have with bad technique, because if you aren't giving it the right stimulus with the right form, it's just going to get to a certain point to where it thinks that that's enough stimulus that's going to need, and then it's just going to go kind of to poop. And then also, don't get me wrong, the bad form is worse for other reasons as well, like higher injury risk, higher forms of, I was going to say different forms of injury. It's really bad for your injury risk, and it's just not great for progressively overloading, because if you're switching it up, you're actually giving your body different stimuluses every time. If every week you're switching your technique and switching your form, you won't be able to progress because you're not using the same technique on an exercise. I kind of went all over the shop just there. But basically the premise of it is, if you maintain proper technique on exercises, then you will know that you are getting strength. Because for me personally, I used to kind of huck around the bench press and just kind of throw it down and then try to fight it back up, right? I used to get 225, 235, something like that. I used to get it for a few reps. And